John Fetterman is a U.S. senator. Looks a little bit like he works for a bookie. John Fetterman is the junior senator out of Pennsylvania. He is a fascinating figure. He is somebody who took the seat of Pat Toomey. He is a progressive candidate. I'll say that again. A progressive candidate who says that he wants to get rid of capital punishment. He believes healthcare is a human right. He wants to completely reimagine and reform the criminal legal system. Super connected guys, working class, has all the trappings of the working class politician made good. He even shows up to meetings and press conferences with hoodies on, t-shirts. He's one of us. That's what they tell us, right? That's what they tell us, right? John Fetterman is one of us. And I'm like, cool. So when he ran for office and he's running against, was it Dr. Oz, who, you know, and other people like that, he's running against Mehmet Oz, and it's like, oh, well, you know, Oz, fake Pennsylvanian in the sense that he's not really around us like that. He doesn't understand working class people. He is us. And then Fetterman got elected. Fetterman got elected as a progressive voice. He was chosen to extend the momentum of the squad. He was seen as maybe even the heir apparent for Bernie Sanders. Now, some of you may say, well, now you just projected. Okay, well, he supported Bernie Sanders in 2016. And when he was supporting Bernie Sanders in 2016 for president, he said he'd fight for universal health care, fight for universal minimum wage. He said all of these things. And it's like, okay, Fetterman is our guy. And then he done changed. He done changed. His position on immigration went from a progressive position to, again, as someone whose wife has her own immigration story. Suddenly now he's talking about the crisis at the border and the need for more security. Again, no one doesn't think there's a crisis at the border. Nobody doesn't think that there needs to be security measures. The question is, what does it mean to militarize the border and criminalize everybody who comes in, right? That is not what we're talking about. When he ran for Senate and Ocasio-Cortez supported him, he took that support, right? Despite the fact that he had radically different positions on many things. You're supposed to be progressive, but you support fracking. You are supposed to be progressive, but you seem to be supporting causes that undermine any real progressive vision. One of those issues, the issue maybe that he's been most disappointing on, is the issue of Israel-Palestine. He's been terrible. Now, when I say terrible, I don't just mean he's been terrible the way Democrats are disappointing. I mean, Bernie Sanders was disappointing on Israel-Palestine when the war first broke out. I'm used to being disappointed in that way. But Fetterman is like turning it up a notch. Fetterman is saying like, yo, I'm not just different than the progressives. I'm not just standing in contradistinction to the squad. He's saying like, yo, I am complete. I'm just completely different than I said I would be. Anyway, he takes a trip to Israel recently. Just so you know where he stands on this. He's already been conflating Palestinian liberation with terrorism. He's already been justifying genocide by acting as if it's just a war on Hamas. He's already been supporting the indiscriminate killing of civilians directly and indirectly. He's already been criminalizing and demonizing and stigmatizing and pathologizing Palestinian resistance. He does all of that. But now your boy decides to go overseas and actually meet with Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, I'm actually not one of those people that says you should never meet with people. I don't care if you agree with people, don't disagree with people. I don't think the meeting as such is the problem. I think we need to do more meeting, more talking, more discussion, more negotiation. And Fetterman going then doesn't mean that he's not doing those things. But it's what he does when he gets there. Fetterman meets with Benjamin Netanyahu, and let me tell you something. It went great for Netanyahu. Listen to this.
We've been through dire times in these months of anguish war. And during that time, I can say that Israel has had no better friend than Senator John Fetterman. Senator, welcome to Israel. I want to thank you for your courageous statements that show moral clarity and moral courage. And you just say it the way it is. And we appreciate this friendship at all times, but especially at these times. So welcome, friend. Welcome.
Well, we stand with Israel through this, and I'm so sorry for what's been done to this nation, but I'm just an honor to be here today.
Thank you.
All right.
And I look forward to visiting you in Washington. Thank you.
Yeah. One thing I give him credit for is he still wore them dumbass hoodies. I mean, look at him. Not to be petty, but I mean, he really looks like somebody that comes to your house when you owe money. Right? He really does look like that high school football coach that, you know what I mean, that made good after spraining his knee in college, right? He does look like a bailiff from Night Court. He does look like a failed pro wrestler. He does look like a tattoo artist, right? Like, but that's neither here nor there. He shows up to Israel. And as I said, the meeting went exactly how Israel wanted it to go. He says, Netanyahu says, he tells it like it is. Let me translate that for you. That means that he says Islamophobic and anti-Palestinian things while normalizing Israeli apartheid. He's courageous in these trying times. That means he has voted for more money to fund a genocidal war. That's what that means. There's never been there is no greater friend to Israel than John Fetterman. He's like reading John Fetterman's name off a piece of paper because he doesn't know this guy. He's like, who is this? Who is this jabroni? I just know he's here. He's big as hell and he's standing with Israel, so I'll stand with him. Look at that smug look on Netanyahu's face, and look at Fetterman just looking like, what else do I have to do? I'm up for re-election in 5 years. I'm starting this gravy train early. When he says there's no greater friend to Israel, he's saying that this is somebody who will compromise all of their values and principles for political expediency. Fetterman's done it on voting rights. He's done it on oil. He's done it on education. We go down the list, and now he's doing it on Israel-Palestine. John Fetterman continues to sell out progressives, and now he's selling them out on the issue of Israel. I mean, he's not even except for Palestine sellout, because he's except for Palestine, except for fracking, except for, we're going down the list. Fetterman is a sellout. I can't say that enough. The question for me isn't, is he a sellout? Because he is a sellout. The question for me is, what do we do about it? One, we have to keep pointing it out. Every single time he reminds us that he's not a progressive, we got to say something about it. And when I say reminds us, I mean, he has literally said, I am not a progressive. I'm a regular Democrat, not a progressive Democrat, which wouldn't be bad, except he ran as a progressive Democrat. He ran with progressive Democrats. He ran with support from and asking for more support from progressive Democrats. And now that he wins, he's like, well, I ain't no progressive. I'm just a Democrat. As if we've placed on him unrealistic and unfair expectations, as opposed to the truth, which is he has given us high expectation and low delivery on those expectations. So what do? We vote him out. We vote him out immediately. The first chance we get to vote him out, we vote him out. So in 4 years, somebody gonna be campaigning for this junior U.S. Senate seat. We need to support them. We need to support whoever the progressive voice is. Don't let him start to get more progressive in 2026, 2027, 2028. Nah, B, too late. You shown us who you is. We should be supporting somebody now. We might have been better off. Let me not say that. I'll just say this. There are some people out there that we need to support for U.S. Senate. Who do y'all think we should support for U.S. Senate? Put in the chat right now. Who do you think by 2028 will be ready for a U.S. Senate seat from Pennsylvania? Don't say me. Y'all weren't going to say me anyway, but don't say me. Who would you want to see in that seat? Is there somebody in the U.S. Congress right now that you want to see move from one chamber to the next? Is there somebody in the U.S. Congress who's in the House that you want to see move to the Senate? Is there somebody who's mayor of a city that you want to see? Is there somebody from the grassroots you want to see? Is there somebody from nonprofit world you want to see? Who should be unseating Fetterman? It's a hell of a question. I don't have the answer to the specific who, but I can tell you this. We need to establish litmus tests just like everybody, just like Republicans do, just like everybody does who has significant political power. We got to be able to say, all right, before we support your bid, where are you on these 6 issues? That way, if they violate those 6 principles that we've implicitly or explicitly articulated through that request, we can then say you sold us out. You sold us out. But the least we can do is make sure that somebody challenges John Fetterman in 2028. Because the election is going to be November 2028. And we need the right person in place to defeat him. So when they get inaugurated in January 2029, we can say we made somebody pay the price for selling us out. In the same way that AIPAC made somebody pay the price for taking a principal position on Palestine, Jamal Bowman, they made somebody pay the price. They sent a message. We got to send a message. And we will send a message. We must send a message. It's the only way we're going to amass any kind of real political power.